Karman leads you to a small recovery chamber in the med bay, where his bed is set up. A handful of tubes and wires fall gently beside it, attached to boxy devices. Flint has already left the group, leaving just you and Seraphin with Olivera's injured founder. Karma meets her eye with a hard look. So, how did you two end up stumbling into our colony out in the shoals? He raises an eyebrow. Because we're not usually open to visitors. Ankita sent us to you. You see the flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Ankita. You produce the thumbnail drive, holding it out for Karman to inspect. She told Sleeper to deliver this to you and you alone. Seraphin folds his arms. Karman pauses thoughtfully. That's a name I have not heard for a while. Takes the drive. It seems I should thank you again. Sighs. And perhaps I owe you some explanation myself. Ankita and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Karman shakes his head. We went our separate ways, but then she turned back up in Olivera. I established this colony as a refuge, a way of starting again. Karman clasps his hands together. The ball is changing, and I am afraid of what is coming. Ankita took refuge here for a short while, and then one cycle, she was gone. That's not unusual for her. Each of us has our own demons. He holds up the drive. I'll take a look at what's on here when I'm able. Looks at the drive with concern. I'll let you know what I find. You and Seraphin thank him and leave the chamber as he settles back on his recovery bed. As you leave, Flint catches your attention. Can we speak? Seraphin pauses. Look at you back on the rig. Looks between the two of you, then glides away. Flint hovers, a look of concern on his mask-like face. What do you need? Flint gives you a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? Of how we got here, of your history. Flint screws up their face in a pained expression. At first, I thought you were hiding something, or you were intentionally avoiding the subject, so I waited. I understand it now. You don't remember me at all. Take a moment to think, to try to recall Flint. You furrow your brow in frustration, sifting through hazy memories of dark side. Further back of your arrival to the belt. Close your eyes and see the faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate. Darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same SNR mining installation, along with the other sleepers. Searches your eyes for a spark of recognition. He's gendered. We weren't close. I'm not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. I was there when we planned the escape together, the run to the freighter, collapsing the mine shaft. Flint stops, struggling to continue in the face of the blank look you are giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch, as if something is crawling around inside your skull. You can see that Flint wants you to recall them, recall the escape, the installation, but you find only hazy sensations. And beneath them, pain. I'm sorry, I don't mean to... Now you can't help it, I just needed to say something, to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for Olivera. And turns and drifts away dejectedly, unable to continue. As you watch Flint go, you scratch at the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, their mask-like face. Face that was identical to yours when it was first cast, but that, over cycle after cycle of wear and damage, has been transformed. Two machines so close in form and function, estranged by experience. Also, I would love to, probably in a replay, because of course I'm going to replay the game, off stream obviously. I wonder whether the make of the sleeper is going to be different to match what the player chose. I think, like logically, it should. So, but we'll see. Okay, and here we have a positive clock. Analysis. Okay, so we basically have the today, essentially, to get something done. Oh, let's do an improvised dice repair. This integrates the scrap components into your frame. Some of them burnt out immediately and you feel a flickering pain. Full glitch. Sure. Let's do an let's do another full glitch. Like, can't have more than 6, so... Yay, next cycle is going to be fun with all the glitch die. Thanks for coming up, Sleeper. Karman is waiting for you and Seraphine when you arrive at the med bay, looking a lot fresher. It's in a small alcove, set up like an office, with an aging terminal and a simple welded desk on a small window looking out across the dusty rock of Olivera. Got some news for us? Seraphine asks impatiently. Since you arrived back from the manufacturer, he has been restless, though you aren't sure why. Not to worry, Karman grunts slyly. I think you'll want to hear this. Hits a key on the terminal and the file browser appears on the screen showing hundreds of individual pieces of data. The kid has been busy. Karman gestures to the screen. He's been scraping at Utsubu communications, cycle after cycle, and got access to ciphers and encryption that only the gang's members, leadership, should be able to see. Smiles. It seems she's learned some tricks since we worked together. That's not what matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few keys and loads some of the data, which scrolls down the screen. Some parts of Utsubu leadership have been getting ideas about taking Greenbelt and controlling food production in the belt, about exerting power over Wellspring. Big ideas for a gang. But these Utsubu members aren't alone. They found themselves a powerful ally. Karman shakes his head. SenetStat. SenetStat? One of the two corporations fighting a bitter battle for control of the inner system. Pernicious? Again, we are here learning new words. Having a very harmful effect or influence.
Pernicious.
Yeah, pernicious. Pernicious force, one that Utsubu are opening a door for in the belt. You can't be serious. Surfing cuts in. It can't be that stupid. I don't know what the hell to tell you. How is someone inside Utsubu trying to broker a partnership? Ooh. Seraphine leans over to look at the screen. You don't need Karman's answer, and neither does Seraphine. Lane. Seraphine looks at you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Karman looks between you both. Seems like you already know something I don't. There's a piece of shit Utsubu leader who think he owns us. Seraphine shakes his head. Exactly the kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try to manipulate SenetStat. Karman nods thoughtfully. Condolences. I'm starting to see how you cross paths with Ankita. Why is Ankita telling you this? Like I said, Ankita and I work together. To put it simply, we ran in the same mercenary outfit. Karman looks away. A lot has happened since then, but this message, this data, it's her calling in a favor. And I owe her, that's for sure. Karman shakes his head and pushes himself off from the desk, crossing the room to look out the window at Oliver's pale and airless surface. Hell, after what went down, I owe you both, too. You look at Karman, staring out at the surface of this hostile rock and wonder what he sees out there. He established the colony as a fallback, a retreat, not just for him, for others too. But you get the feeling that Karman knows any retreat is only ever temporary. He turns back to look at you. Hey, you sleeper, what will you do? We'll take on Utsubu. Take on a gang? Karman smiles. Are you sure about that? We are going to end Lane, whatever it takes. Seraphine stares down Karman, face bald. Karman looks at you. Ah, it's going to get you in trouble. He turns to Seraphine. Apply that energy. Looks back out of the window. This is not something we are going to take head on. He shakes his head. Nikita sent us our weapon. Karman turns and gestures at the console screen with its rearms and incriminating data. Civils don't control all the dark side, they only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war between SenetStat and Conway. That presents us with an opportunity. Utsubu is full of members who'd rather die than concede dark side to a corporate interest. We play this right, Utsubu will end Lane for us. Smiles the Seraphine, to use your phrase. How do we do it? We can handle it. We've cracked dark side once, we can do it again. Seraphine's confidence is infectious. Is that right? Karman seems to be thinking something through. He crosses to the console, back to the window, and then to the console once more. Alright, I'm going to need some time, but I can put this together. Karman nods to Seraphine. We'll need that energy, but you also need to be ready. We rush this, it's not ending well, so I can wait. Karman turns his attention to, we'll go from Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends there who can help us get that chip of yours into dark side. Seraphin looks at you. We have our own preparations to make, but we'll be ready. Alright. Karman unplugs Ankita's drive and hands it to you. Take this and get out of here. I don't want anyone finding this thing in my possession. You take it. The tiny drive, somehow heavier than you know, it contains the key to exploding Lane. Thank you. See you in the wheat sheaf? Karman smiles to himself. They know me there. To understand something. His expression turns serious. You want my help on this? There's no way we can get back to the colony. Once you leave here, you're not coming back to Olivera. Not until we are done. He meets your eye. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. You leave the cycle. Karman nods. Good. He goes back to the window to stare at whatever it is he sees out there among dusty rocks. When you come back to the rig, Flint is waiting for you, leaning by the docking tunnel with a bag over his shoulder. They look up as you approach. Hey. Flint nods at greeting, appearing a little unsure. Hey. I've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask for your pity. They pause. You feel like they have been preparing the speech. Firstly, I owe you, and I want to pay you back. I can work, and I can fight, and I will protect the ship and this crew with everything I have. Secondly, we come from the same place, and whether you remember it or not, that means something. It must. No, I'm not the easiest to get on with. I know you might have your reservations about having another sleeper on the ship, but... Well, don't finish. I'm eager. I'm ready. I want to move on, and I want to show my value. Well, yeah, I think that's it. Look at Flint, their frame so much more damaged than yours, but with a fire burning in their eyes that makes them seem bigger than they are. Welcome aboard. Smile spread across Flint's face, and they look down to hide it. Thank you. They say to the floor, to work out. You'll see. Flint nods to you once more, then turns and glides down the docking tunnel towards the ship. As they do, two figures at the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye. You pause to look, shifting a little. As you do, you recognize Cadence leaning in. Some words are exchanged, once you can only guess at, and then the other figure embraces Cadence and turns back to the ship. As Seraphin approaches, he ducks his head, passing quietly past you in the docking tunnel without a word. You take one last look at the docks, but Cadence is gone. You idle a moment longer and feel that there's something, some presence, even in these empty bays. Something rare in all the belt that Oliver has captured. As with all things, you must learn to leave it behind. Okay, actually, let's try to get... let's use the glitches here. Because we might be able to get supplies out of this. And there it is. They're full of supplies. Okay, I just need to use the ones, the glitched ones. See if I can get something out of this. Cool. And 5 points, which means yellow. Yeah, let's go engineer. I don't want to be in a situation where I started with engineer being unlocked and then I like completely ignore the skill for the rest of the game. It just seems mean to engineer. Yeah, let's go to... Can we go all the way to... We can go all the way to Scatter Yards. Yeah.